Good morning, everybody. Great to be here, Bill.
Yes. Brandy's saying good morning because she is. Actually, you want to tell them where you live while we're getting started, since that's probably not germane. She told me the
Oh,
other day, and I was very jealous. Very
yeah.
jealous.
I live in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and yep, I run the marketing side of it with CharTec remotely. I'm
Yes.
very
So,
lucky. I'm very fortunate.
yeah, you don't have to ask what the weather's like. We already know the answer. It's beautiful every day, right?
It is. I mean, you have those days where it's really hot and muggy, and like the moment you step out, you just showered, all over again. So there's some of those days, but I can't complain.
All right. Well, it looks like our audience is filling up, so we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Bill Daiber, and I am with Senior Business Development in the marketing side for D&H, and we have Brandi with us as well. Brandi, do you want to introduce yourself one more time?
Yeah, I'm the director of marketing for CharTec and ARC Technology out of Bakersfield, California.
Excellent. And we're very lucky to have her with us today. She's got a great presentation planned. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with a quick poll question just so we can understand what everybody out there is dealing with. So the question is, do you classify yourself as a VAR or an MSP? So if you wouldn't mind filling out the poll answer in the little widget on the side of your screen, that would be excellent. All right. So quick look at the agenda for today. We're going to talk briefly about modern solutions in D&H's cloud marketplace, and then we have the presentation from Brandi. And then at the end, we're going to take some time for some question and answers, which you can also type into the chat along the way, and we can answer those questions as they pop up and as we have the ability to do so. And at the end, we'll also go over some of the immediate offers available to you that we're going to work with CharTec to bring you guys. So, having said that, modern solutions. So we're here today to talk about MSPs. We're here today to talk about marketing. And D&H's Modern Solutions unit and our supporting team for that is kind of who you'd want to talk to in order to help support your MSP practice. So we're moving on beyond just providing like hardware, and we want to make sure that we're kind of combining all of the solutions together and thinking about how we solve business problems from a complete 360-degree perspective. So the solution categories, we have applications, infrastructure, collaboration, and security. And again, when we look to implement a solution for our partners, we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that solves all their problems and we get them to buy in and create that service practice. So just so you're aware, and the things that you can be thinking about is not only you're thinking about marketing, but also how you're going to deliver these. D&H has identified these as the 6 categories that you can get into in order to develop that business. And whether you're a VAR, whether you're an MSP, whether or not you're transitioning between the two or trying to start one side up or the other, just know that these marketing strategies that you're going to hear today can kind of apply to all of the delivery models that we are offering through Modern Solutions. Another thing to look at is D&H recently started promoting our AIM solution architecture. The idea being to work with your partner in 3 phases, the assess phase being kind of to lean in, talk about them, understand what they're going to need to ultimately accomplish their goal, and then move on to implement. So that is the install, that is the setting it up, that's teaching people how to use it, that's the training, and then finally manage. Keep that relationship going, make sure that those partners are sticking along with you and that you're able to support and grow alongside of them. So if you want to learn more about any of these, you can reach out to our Modern Solutions team at modernsolutions@dnh.com, or you can visit the Modern Solutions homepage at dnh.com/modernsolutions. And really, to help make sure that you're providing the best service and the best products to your partners, we're going to go ahead and say that we've got the best team that you can use to do that. So reach out to them at the Modern Solutions D&H pages. Finally, before we get started, I do want to thank the sponsors of today's video. They're up on the screen now, and all of these partners are crucial in providing with our partners this full coverage that you can get through Modern Solutions approach selling. And so we thank them all for allowing us to bring Brandi here today to chat with you. And real quick, we'll take a look at the poll results. So it does look like we have a lot of MSPs in here, which is great because this is going to talk a lot about I think Brandi maybe will explain on the next slide how CharTec is a specialist and can probably be your best friend as a partner when it comes to managing an MSP. And we've got some other people in here that are figuring it out or trying to work on everything. So that's great. The marketing tips you're about to hear will scale well across pretty much any of these, but we will be focused heavily on MSPs today. So with that, I will hand over the controls to Brandi, and she has a lot to talk about today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you about marketing. A little bit of background. So being the marketing director for ARC Technology that is owned by CharTec, ARC Technology has been around for 30 years. They started off as VAR and went into an MSP. They know exactly how to make all the transitions. And if you're looking to transition to doing that, feel free to reach out as well. And then going in and doing all of the marketing for CharTec as well, just being strictly MSP, managed services related. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into talking about what is a well-rounded marketing plan. And if you have the resources, we'll go into what you should be applying your resources to. And as you know, I'm Brandi Rogers, and if reach out to me on LinkedIn or email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions aside of what you asked here if something comes up later on down the line. So, it looks like we have another question. So listen, if you guys are already producing leads, I'd like to get an idea of how you're generating your leads today. If it's digital content, paid ads, social media, website, or if you're not doing anything at all, it would be interesting to know, because we are going to be talking about all of these topics throughout the duration of this webinar and how you could utilize these various channels to help you produce leads. And that's ultimately what you want to do when it comes to your marketing. So well-rounded marketing plan. If you have the resources, this is kind of what it looks like. You're going into your marketing list, your social media optimization, search engine optimization, social media marketing, email marketing, content marketing, ads, and so on. And then of course your reporting and conversions. Obviously, not everybody can do all of this. It's a lot. We have a team of 8 to 10 people that are working on all of this, and it would be very difficult as an MSP to do it all. If you could do it all, that would be great. But if you cannot, I highly recommend that you focus on one of these channels. We're going to get into each one and why they're all important. And then, of course, you have to look within your own company and decide, what can I do with my own resources that's not going to set you up for failure? And ultimately, that's what we don't want. We want you to do some sort of marketing, whether it be content or social media, and you would need to decide what's going to be best for you, for your MSP or your break fix, whatever it is that you're doing, and what's going to be a fit for you exactly. So talking about lead generation and the marketing funnel, lead generation focuses on the awareness, right? You're getting your brand out there. You're doing your social media, you're doing your emails. Then once you create that curiosity and somebody clicks on a link or they fill out a form of some sort, then it becomes the nurturing part of the funnel. You're still continuing to keep them interested until they get to that consideration point. Then it becomes the intent. Once they become to the point where they are considering your services, then that's when it goes into the sales part of it. And marketing, guys, and a lot of people get confused about what marketing is supposed to do for your sales process. Marketing is strictly supposed to just create and generate curiosity so that they raise a hand, and then it gets handed off to sales. A lot of the times people get confused and say marketing should be developing that first appointment for me, and that's not the case. There still requires some nurturing involved once it passes through the funnel. And I think, Bill, you can agree that this is what it looks like when it comes to the marketing aspect of it, of creating that awareness first and then handing it over to the salespeople to do their job to close that deal.
Yeah, we subscribe to the same model at D&H, where the goal is no one's going to buy from you if they don't know what you're selling. So when you start at the top of the funnel, you just want to make sure that you are making sure that your name is tied to the services you offer. And then as people want to learn more about you and why your organization is valuable, you move them right down towards the bottom. So that's exactly how we try to help our partners out as well.
D&H, you have so many great resources, so I highly recommend to reach out and ask any questions as you need to. They're there for you. So let's talk about content marketing, guys. Content marketing must be intent-based. So that means that you have a specific objection and goal in mind when you are doing content marketing. This is with your website, whether they're blogs, their emails, their downloadables, infographics. There must be a specific intent in mind. Generalizing it and not having a session-focused call to action won't help you. And what I mean by a session focus is everything that you put out there on your website or on your email must have another step for somebody to take. It's whether they're going to call you and then they get into another journey, or if they're going to fill out a form, or if they're going to download something. They always need something to do. And then when you give them that next step to do, that step should also have another step to take. So you always need to have them doing something. Then with content marketing, you need to understand what vehicle you're going to use based on your resources. So are you going to be producing videos? Are you going to be producing image-based content? Are you going to be producing text-based content, such as text social posts, maybe polls, blogs, ebooks, and so on? And then what channel are you going to be focusing on? So many different channels are out there. You have social media, you have your website, you have ads. What is it that works for you so that you can do the marketing and achieve your goal? You don't want to overdo it and give yourself this huge, goal to accomplish, and then get discouraged when you don't get there, and then you just stop altogether. Because marketing is all about consistency, and if you don't continue to stay consistent, then it's not going to work. So it is for the long haul, and you just have to make sure that you are definitely doing what's available to you within your own resources. And of course, reaching out to D&H, and if you're a CharTec member or myself, we can help you along the line. Also with content marketing, you have to think about who your avatar is. Now, an avatar is basically your primo client. Who is that guy that pays you your monthly fee on time, that doesn't submit a ton of tickets, that's not high maintenance, they're great to work with? Think about who that person is. Think about what that person looks like. Where did he go to school at? Where does she hang out? Is she on Facebook? Is she on LinkedIn? Or is she reading your blogs? What books they're reading? You really, really need to get involved into who that one person is. Because when you are putting this content out there, that is exactly who you're talking to. Unfortunately, you're not going to get everybody involved and intrigued and curious about your content. So you have to focus on that one client that's your best client ever, and do your best to bring those people in, right? Because those other ones, they're going to end up, you're going to want to bring in anybody because you need the business, but they're going to end up wasting a lot more of your time, and they're going to end up costing you more money, and then you'll end up firing them. And I see it happen all the time because you just need the business, and it ends up backfiring on you. So be focused on who you're talking to when you're creating this content. So this is what the content lifestyle looks like. These are top of the funnel entries. Now, if you're going to be doing content marketing, you would be focusing either on blogs, your social media updates, any infographics, or images you want to put out there. If you're doing a podcast, those are kind of top of the funnel. And of course, sending out a monthly newsletter. Now, if you really want to get a more warmer person into the funnel, you're looking at sending out educational resources such as ebooks, any useful resources that they can implement inside their own company. It could be in the form of a policy template or a checklist that they need to put in place as it relates to if they think they've been hacked, what are the steps they need to take, any quizzes that they like to do. And it's amazing actually seeing how many people really like to take quizzes. It's kind of cool because I've seen my highest conversion rates comes with quizzes. So it's pretty neat to see, but those are very warm leads. Now getting into the bottom of the funnel, if you want to skip all that, this is where you would be putting in your best efforts. Your best foot forward is creating demos or trials, having a customer story out there. So you did really well with a certain client from beginning to end, bringing them over from another IT company, and the process was smooth and stellar, and this client had so many great things to say. This would be a really great story to tell. Webinars are really great too. And I'm actually finding that on-demand webinars are really great for MSPs because MSPs unfortunately don't want to be on camera and they don't want to be on camera. They're shy, and I get it. Video is scary. And so a lot of the times you can pre-record everything, have your voiceover, and create a webinar that's always on your landing page and consistent for anyone to just log in and watch your video on demand. Those are bottom of the funnel contacts and prospects. including holding lunch and learns, maybe some cybersecurity, educational, live events at your office or at a location. And of course, even giving courses down to, Microsoft Office 365 courses. Those are really, really popular as well with business owners. So besides the referrals, how do you generate your leads? This is what we found. So most of the time it's website, and that is what we do see often. Your website is connected to Google Business Profile, and people Google you. That totally makes sense. So with digital content, that's very low. And the reason why I would suspect that digital content and social media content are very low, it's because it takes time. And it takes a lot of time to generate. You have to have a creative mind, and oftentimes we don't have that, and it takes a lot of resources away from you. Paid ads, if you have the funds to do that, that's great. That's definitely another option. And the ones who don't have it, it doesn't surprise me, not even one bit. I don't know about you, Bill, but I don't see a lot of MSPs focusing on the marketing part of it because they're so involved in the business versus the marketing part of it.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the people we talk to are kind of wearing two hats, right? It's a sales and it's a marketing thing. And I think that that's one of the great things about the talk today is that, we're going to identify the things that are very resource intensive and the things that are just kind of like essentials, right? So it's like if you're stretched thin and you don't have a lot of resources, there are some things that you absolutely should be doing. And we just say that those things you should be focused on. And then the other stuff is as it becomes available. But for a lot of people wearing multiple hats, it is tough to really fully engage in all the different parts of marketing.
Thank you, Bill. So let's talk about digital marketing. What are the benefits? Digital marketing gives you a very strong digital presence and it creates credibility. But on top of that, it does definitely help make your business easier and the ways of bringing people in the world of internet. It helps people convert because they have so many other resources. And unfortunately, we're in a day where there's a instant gratification involved. And so having a digital marketing presence gives them that instant gratification. I said digital, I believe, but instant gratification. And then, of course, it also kickstart word of mouth. So within social media, you may have people that you're targeting, but what that does is it sort of creates an inception. So people who have already been following you and seeing your brand consistently posting, and you're giving out great material and educational material, and it's useful and intriguing to them. At that time, they may not need your services, but they may know someone who does, and they may refer you just because they've seen a lot of your content on there. So don't discount the word of mouth and the social sharing aspect of it. And then it definitely does shorten the buyer's journey. And I'm going to explain how it shortens the buyer's journey in the way of email marketing campaigns. And if you're not doing email marketing campaigns, this should probably tell you that maybe you should get started with it. But again, I really, really want you to focus on what you can do internally with your own resources because you still have a business to run and you still have a lot of things to do. So I don't want you to break your back on trying to get everything done all at once because it is a lot. So just to put some stats out there for you guys, 347 billion emails go out a day. 4.3% is expected to increase. That did get increased by 2022, and it's forecasted to increase 4% in 2024. That's insane. And then just so you guys know, 89% of marketers use email to generate leads. So email marketing is going on a consistent basis, and it definitely does convert. Now, here are the pros. So the pros of email marketing is creating a personalized content. What this does is it actually will segment your audience automatically by creating proper email marketing campaigns. So if you send out something that's based on all about BDR or all about cloud, and they do a specific activity within that email, you can segment them automatically and place them into a list where you know that they're definitely focused only on that topic. And that allows you to do some hyper targeting marketing to them on something that they're very interested in instead of generalizing it. It increases your ROI and in the way of automation. So if you have these drip campaigns going on, it's automatic. You're not having your sales guy calling all the time. You're not having your marketing people constantly changing anything. And just think of the replies that come through, or the forms that be filled out, or the downloads that come in the way. And it certainly does increase productivity and website traffic. So speaking of productivity, let me show you some stats here. Having email marketing campaigns go out definitely reduces the marketing overhead by 12.2%. That is a huge reduction in your productivity level as far as your overhead goes. There's a 14.5% increase in sales productivity. This is in the way of the tasks that you are putting in with your email marketing campaigns. Because even though you have this automation going out and you have these emails going out, you still need to apply the steps that a salesperson should take in between that time. So for example, if you said, I'm going to send out 9 emails, well, you need to have a specific step involved with, if they downloaded this specific resource, then what happens? Are they going to get another email? Well, they're going to get another email, but it's going to be worded differently. They're going to get us a thank you for downloading, but then another task item should go out to your sales rep that lets them know, hey, you've had a person download an infographic. Now it's time to reach out to them. So this increases their productivity by a lot, and it really helps your salespeople and get that footing and not get discouraged, right? Because sales can be a numbers game. So there's also a 300% increase in customer engagement, and I see it all the time in the email marketing and the way of activities on what they're clicking on, what they're replying to, what they're downloading. And just know that if you're going to go ahead and do email marketing campaigns, you must have a proper CRM in place. Pick a CRM that's within your price range and that can do the things that you need it to do. Because you can have a CRM that does all these crazy bells and whistles and it's beast, right? But if you don't use it, then it's all for a waste. So make sure that you're picking something that you're going to use to really target the goals that you're going to do with when it comes to the email marketing. So did you know email marketing is the top marketing channel of effectiveness? That is at the top, which is why I'm showcasing it first. And studies show that email marketing has a higher ROI than any other marketing strategy out there. And 59% of people say that marketing efforts increase their purchasing decision, which I will say that as me, it definitely helps me when I'm looking to purchase something. If I get an email that hits me at that opportune time of when I need it, I am definitely going to reply or click that link or check it out. And it segments your list. And by segmenting your list, it increases your marketing revenue by 760%, studies have found. Again, this is hyper targeting your audience. General emails going out are really, really great, but that's a stepping stone to get you to segment them to the proper way so that you can market to them on what they're really interested in. So if you decide that email marketing is not your thing, it's too much work for you, that's totally fine. You love social media, I've always been in social media. These are the 3 platforms that we recommend based on lead conversion rates. Google Business, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I know many people are like, oh God, Facebook. I'm going to tell you why Facebook is actually a top contender right now in the ways of social media platforms. But first, we'll talk about Google Business. If nobody has a Google Business page, you really need to go get one. It is a process. You'll have to submit it. You get a postcard in the mail, and it says, okay, you got to confirm 5 days later, da-da-da. But there is a process in setting up your Google Business page properly. But let's talk numbers. We're on marketing, so numbers and metrics are my thing. So the near me searches have increased by over 200%. Now, what that means to you is that if you are doing a lot of your marketing on your website, your keywords should include that with your topic. So IT services near me should be somewhere in between your descriptions. And just know 50% of the Google Business Profile visitors always lead to website traffic. So I'd be interested to know if the persons who answered website, if they're doing Google Business Profile work too. 97% of them learn about you online. You imagine that. Everybody is online searching, whether it be Bing, whether it be DuckDuckGo or Google, it doesn't matter. It's all going to lead you into the same place. 64% of those consumers have used Google, and more than 5% of them result in conversion. And those are some big numbers. So if you're not using Google Business, it's definitely think about starting one and utilizing on a consistent basis. Because believe it or not, it is sort of a social media platform. You may not be doing a lot of talking back and forth and posting back and forth, but this connects you to all of the search engines out there. There is a 61% increase in calls from Google Profile, and I know I'm in that percentage. I definitely do that. I click the call button because it's easy. And then, of course, having a complete profile gets you 7% more likely, people most likely to click. Having a complete profile means you have your questions and answers, your FAQs, you have your profile completed, you're constantly updating it. There is some work involved with it. So just creating the profile and then setting it and forgetting it doesn't really work. You'll still have to do a little bit of nurturing on your Google business page.
Brandi, would you say that that's, I'm sorry to interrupt, would you say that that's one of those essentials, like even no matter what your resources are, your Google My Business page should definitely be one that you take care of?
Absolutely, 100%. Everyone should get a Google business page. It's what connects you online. And so if you don't have that, then how are they going to find you? There are no yellow pages anymore. That this is your yellow pages, or is there? I don't know. I live in Mexico, right. So we don't do that. So, but I mean, those, thinking about going green and all the paperweights going away, you have to get online. So get a Google business profile page, guys. That should be your first step. If anything, if any takeaway, that should be your takeaway coming from here. So if you're like LinkedIn and you have a really good presence on LinkedIn, or if you don't and you say, okay, my audience is on LinkedIn. I've researched my audience. I see them posting on LinkedIn. This is where I should focus my efforts on. These are the reasons why you should go on there then. You have 58 million companies that use LinkedIn, and 80% of them generate B2B leads. It's coming from LinkedIn. And 277 more effective of generating leads than most other platforms. And 65 million of them are decision makers. And that's exactly who you want to target, are decision makers. And then as you're posting images on LinkedIn, it actually gets 2 times more the engagement than other platforms, which is pretty interesting. I've seen it, I've tested it. I've done just text posts on LinkedIn. I've done just video, I've done just images. And when I do images, I see my engagement rate go through the roof. So it definitely is, it is a fact. And then there's some resource for you as well. Now let's just say, okay, well, LinkedIn, my audience isn't on LinkedIn. I'm seeing them mostly on Facebook, and I want to go ahead and focus my efforts on Facebook. Well, these are the reasons why you should. Facebook has 2.96 billion users, and it started out with, a family affair and just getting to know, seeing what everybody is up to, seeing what your family's doing. It actually is a really big generator for B2B leads. You have 2 billion daily visitors and 264 million active users in the US alone. And then, so believe it or not, decision makers spend 74% more time on Facebook. That's kind of bizarre, right? Because you think Facebook is only those platforms meant for people arguing back and forth about politics and religion. I don't know, that's really the case on your side, but I see a lot of arguments. But believe it or not, decision makers are on Facebook. You have 1.8 billion people who use Facebook groups. Now, when I talk about groups, I always suggest if you're going to focus on Facebook, definitely build a group, and build a group that's focused around business owners. So it's IT services for business owners. So business owners can come on to your group and ask questions and technology questions, and you can get in there and answer them. Those are possible lead conversions immediately because they're asking a question that you can answer by asking them to give them a call. So I definitely would say if you're going to focus on Facebook, do a group and create a group and get that group exposed. And then 74% of people do leverage Facebook for business. Now, putting ads out there like a brand awareness ad helps, boosting posts, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't need to do these $1,000 and ads on Facebook. You can do $25 here and $25 here. Just doing continuous little boosts definitely helps your exposure when it comes to the Facebook. Now, if you're going to go ahead and start focusing on social media, here are some things that you need to remember in social media marketing. You must have a social media design kit. This will really, really help you in the ways of productivity and designing your post. You can go onto Canva and create these. and put in your branding kit in Canva. It's super easy. They have templates. It's not very expensive. Because what this does is it does a sort of domino effect, right? You have this branding kit, you have your brand out there. Now it creates brand awareness and brand consistency. Now you're hitting the memory brains of everyone. They see your colors, they see your logo, and then next thing you know, they may not need you, but then they see your colors and your branding in their head, and then they realize they need to go and talk to you. What's going to keep you on track with social media is a content calendar. You will not stay on track or stay consistent if you do not have a content calendar in place to keep you on track and keep you and hold you accountable. So you have to be held accountable to your goals. And having that content creation, content calendar in place is really going to help you do that. So I put some examples of things that we've done for ARC technology in the way of brand consistency and how we put our post out there for infographics and downloads, just to give you guys an idea on your end if you wanted to go ahead and focus on social media. So these are form fills, and I call them lead magnets. And so basically it's somebody who fills out a form and downloads it, and then it gives you, now it's off to the salesperson. So this is something that we've done for an infographic and how we place it. Again, looking at the branding. This is something that we've done in relation to Valentine's Day. Anything that we post, whether it be a national holiday or one of those fun little national holidays that go out, we want to make sure that we're also tying it back to our services in some way. So it could still be done and still have call to actions by calling you. Here's the cybersecurity quiz. People loved these. And just looking at the branding and the consistency of it. Using emojis. A great platform for emojis if you're creating content online is called getemoji.com, which is really great because you can just copy and paste the emoji in there. There's a lot of platforms that give that to you too. Now, once you've done your social media posts, guess what? They have to go somewhere, right? So once they go somewhere, you can't have your branding completely different. And you can't have a messaging that's completely different because they're going to think it's some sort of phishing scam or where the heck did you send me? So this is an example of sending out some cybersecurity posts and having them either apply for a dark web scan or download an infographic of the top 10 steps they took to take if they think they've been phished. Anything like that. This is kind of what we've done here. And you'll see it scroll down. Again, as you're going to see, is that at the bottom, we always have other call to actions, which is the accessions that I was talking about earlier. Always have another call to action, because what if they clicked on it and they realized they weren't really interested in the dark web scan, but then you know what, they got to the bottom and they were interested in taking the quiz, or they got to the quiz and realized they don't want to take the quiz, but they want to do the dark web scan. So always giving them different options that relate to the same topic is ideal when it comes to your brand consistency and putting all of your copy out there, your content out there. And I can't tell if they're watching the video. I believe they are. I see it now. Okay, so if you didn't see it earlier, everyone, I apologize, but here it is now. You can get a good idea of what it looks like, and I'm scrolling through it. Again, with the brand consistency, we put some stats out there because there's power in numbers. And then, of course, at the bottom, you'll see the other call to actions there. So let's talk about the editorial calendar, something that I put in place as I'm creating my calendars for content marketing. I have a tool that's called SEMrush that helps me with this. This is an example of all of the topics I put out there for each quarter. The way that I build my calendars is I kind of build it from the top down. So I build it on an annual basis based on what's trending in the market today. And then I break it down in quarters, and then I break it down in monthly. So this is what you see right now. This is kind of what everything you see with the Q1 in front of it is what we've decided to do for the quarterly, and then everything broken down on a monthly basis. And then this is what it looks like as the calendar part of it. So this, I get an email every week that notifies me of what needs to go out there and what needs to be posted, what social media post needs to be posted. And my goal is to always stay a week in advance with all my social posts. And so that way I don't ever feel behind or I don't feel rushed to get something done. And I highly recommend you do the same thing. Now let's talk about print marketing. And I guess there we go. Okay, so there's a lot of controversy around print marketing. I get it. It could be very expensive if you're doing it in bulk. We don't do that. We do not do print marketing in bulk. We do find it's a waste of time and a waste of money. I really, really like to focus on hyper target print marketing. And so some of the things that it does for you is it does definitely create tangibility and credibility, because after you've sent something out, when somebody has already done something like downloaded something or looked on your website or followed you on social media, and then they get something in the mail, it just confirms that and creates the credibility. But it also allows you to target them directly. So after they've downloaded something and you captured their information, this is when you're supposed to mail them something after you've sent a couple of emails and some phone calls. Then a next touch can be a postcard surrounded around the topic. There is less competition in print marketing. Digital marketing is definitely a very competing world. And then, of course, there's brand recall and engagement. And then, of course, there's longevity and performance, so permanence. So that they get their postcard, they put it on their desk, they may not throw it away yet, it's there. They may continue to hold on to it until they decide to reach out to you because they've already engaged with you. So why would they throw it? If you're mailing something out in bulk, what do you think they're gonna do? I know what I do when I get junk mail, I toss it. But if I get something from somebody that I know that I saw online digitally, I'm going to probably hold on to that, especially when it comes with a complimentary IT consultation or some sort of call to action that has expiration date on it. And so what we've decided to do is we developed a CharTec print store for this very reason. And this print store is free to anyone who wants to access it. All of the postcards that are there are written by us and designed by us. We have specific targeted industries in there so that you can go ahead and apply this to your marketing efforts. And being able to print one postcard at a time versus in bulk, that saves you money. It makes it easy. You don't have to go and lick stamps and put them on there. Gosh, I remember when I used to do that. It was awful back in the day. And you don't have time for that. So this makes it a lot easier for you guys to use and implement within your marketing campaigns. Now, let's just say you can't do content marketing. You don't want to do social media marketing. I don't have no time for that. I just want to do ads. That's totally fine. And this is the journey that you want to take when it comes to your ads and how it should look. You should have your keyword in place. I'm giving examples for you just in case. You should have your intent. So your keyword, cybersecurity, your intent, cybersecurity for my business. You should have your context around it. So meaning my business needs cybersecurity protection. And then your asset. What are you giving out with this ad? You always got to give something for free. There's got to be a downloadable resource or something that they can take, because people don't like to do anything unless they're getting something in return. So it could be a checklist on cybersecurity for your business. You got to decide what channel you're going to use. Are you going to use Google? Are you going to use Facebook or LinkedIn or Reddit and so on? So in this case, let's use Google. And then you have to decide on optimization. Are using the intent-based keyword in the title and description optimizes your ad. And then, of course, a session, as I talked to you again, making sure they have something to do. Your call to action button, whether it's see more, contact us, and wherever you're sending them needs to have that as well. So this is kind of what your ads need to look like. And unfortunately with ads, just like everything else in marketing, it requires optimization. It requires looking at the metrics and seeing what's working, what isn't working. It's not a set it and forget it game in the way of marketing. You still need to look at what you're doing, and so that you can do it better. Right? Now, this is if you decide to do ads. What are the metrics that matter? This is what matters to us. What's your click-through rate? And why aren't you getting a high click-through rate? What can you change within your content, within your copy that will create your higher click-throughs? How many website visits are you getting? Are your website visits matching your emails that are going out? So if you're sending emails on a consistent basis, but you don't see the traffic on your website increasing, there's an issue, right? This is going to help you out. Social awareness. We like to create reports based on what we're doing socially, and we actually like to compare them to our competitors so that we can see what our competitors are doing versus what we're doing socially. And that'll help you decide on what you need to do differently within your social media efforts. I like to keep track of how many downloads we received and how many form fills, because form fills can be in the way of contact us. It could be a download, it could be watching a webinar, anything in the way of form fills. So these are the metrics that matter to us. Now, talking about your website needs to be healthy, guys, because Google's algorithm or any search algorithm, they're not going to send you traffic if your website isn't healthy. So if you don't know that, I would suggest reaching out to D&H or myself to understand what the health of your website is, because there could be errors. And if you have errors, this is the SEO technical side of it. This means it's kind of like, I always compare it to the architecture of a house. It's the building format of your website. If you have errors, Google's not going to send you traffic. So you got to get those errors fixed, and you got to get your on-page SEO done. So having your Google Analytics linked into your data, having your LinkedIn, your Facebook, all of this should be linked into your reporting, depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing it all, you should be keeping track of all of this. If you're doing one, then you should be keeping track of it in some way, shape, or form. And you have to figure out how you're going to keep track of that. Other reporting can be included with competitor comparison, as I mentioned earlier, your social media posts and analytics. I get a report that actually lines out all of the social media posts that are on there, and I get to see exactly how many shares, how many likes, how many comments. And that way I can go back and reference, oh, these ones did really good. Now I can go back and do something similar to that, right? Looking at your keyword rankings, we do competitor comparisons with keywords as well. Knowing exactly what keywords are being used and being searched for will help you with your on-page SEO. Of course, your ad performance. You're putting out money, so you want to definitely know where your ads are doing, right? And then, of course, SEO. We have a report or a tool that looks at our website and constantly is sending us information on what we can do to SEO optimize a certain page or a blog or whatever it is that's on there. And it gives us exact ideas down to whether we need to improve the H1 tag or the meta tag or the image and so on. So just considering all of these steps that you want to take and which one step you want to implement within your own business, those are the metrics that should be applied to those specific steps. So as I mentioned earlier, everybody, marketing is all about the raised hand, the curiosity. But what happens? You pass on marketing down to sales, you got to pass the baton. You got to make sure that they don't blow it, right? They don't drop that baton. So this is the reason why sales needs to really pay attention on that follow-up game. It's got to be strong. It takes 12 to 15 touches per prospect. And what do you think most salespeople do when they make that third call and they didn't get to nobody? Most of the time they give up. And I've spoken in live audiences, and I've had people give me a show of hands of how many people have given up after the third touch. And you'll be so surprised that it's the majority of everybody who give up. So 12 to 15 touches. 90% of them do quit after the third or fourth. And then you have to remember that sales follow-ups, it's a numbers game. It is what it is. You have to accept that. And so we always say embrace the suck, because it does suck to continue to call and continue to email. And then, gosh, the rejection is like, it's terrible. It's not so great. So the 1%, the other one, meaning not the 1% who actually does something, but the other one where they're just constantly continuously reaching out, nothing's happening. Those are the people you still have to continue to go after, and you just have to continue to do it. It's just one of those things. One of the other thing I want to tell the salespeople who are on here, or if you are more in marketing and you have a sales team, let them know that they should take it easy when it comes to people going on your website. Too much too soon will scare them away. So you don't want them to be that guy that says, oh my God, I saw them on my landing page, I'm going to hurry up and email them right now. You got to give it some time. You have to have a plan. Okay, he's on this website, so I'm going to prepare my email. I'm going to send it out tomorrow, make sure that it's structured properly, not saying, hey, I saw you on my website at 4:30 in the afternoon looking at BDRs. Let's get on a call, buy something from me now. You don't want to do that. So your messaging has to be on par. Your voicemails have to be on par. You have to put the curiosity out there. Solution-based selling is not a good thing. It's what everybody does. So you need to do it in a way where you can differentiate yourself from everybody else. We preach problem-based selling, pause selling, which problem, alternatives and solutions. And so attacking the messaging in the way of the problems and their pain points first And then with the implications on top of that, will really keep them intrigued and curious. So that's where I'm at, everybody. That is the conclusion of my webinar. And Bill, I know we got some more things going on here. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. I appreciate everyone listening, and I hope I didn't bore you too much in marketing.
Awesome. Hey, Brandi, thank you so much. If there was some feature we could have everybody clap for you, I would encourage everybody to use that feature. I'm not sure that we do, but you did a great job today, and there was a lot of great information on there. The one thing that I took away that I really liked was something that I don't know that I have specifically practiced, but the idea of creating a Facebook group where you're kind of soliciting business owners and then providing them with that feedback maybe the first time for free, but then the idea being that you kind of, get them to trust you as an expert and then organically build that through that engagement. I think that that was really clever. And that was something that honestly, I had not considered before. So even I'm learning stuff over here from your presentation today. So thank you.
And that's marketing is all about. It's never ending of learning and marketing. Marketing is changing every single day. The trends are changing every single day. So what worked yesterday is not working tomorrow, or what didn't work last year is now working now. So it's kind of crazy to keep track.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. It's fun. All right. So we have a couple free resources available to everybody who viewed the webinar today. So the first one is there's a cybersecurity voicemail and email script. And that is both of these documents are actually complements of CharTec. So becoming a partner of CharTec gets you access to a vast library of white label and other marketing materials. So feel free to reach out to Brandi to talk about what that looks like. But today, you can get a hold of the voicemail and the email script by emailing membership@chartec.net with the subject D&H webinar voicemail script, and they will send you scripts that you can use for calls and emails. Like we talked about today, what the importance is of emails and what the importance is of those follow-ups and making sure that you're getting all the touches you need. These are tools that you can use to help you directly. The other thing that we have available is 5 fears and 5 benefits of moving to the cloud. So this is a white label PDF. What that means is you can download this asset and then add your logo and your contact information to it. And it's something that you can share with partners when the time is right. If they have questions about, a lot of people don't understand the cloud or want to know what it is. It's a great resource to provide to them to kind of understand like why people are wary about it, but also what the benefits are. So you'll be able to find this resource starting tomorrow on 2 different D&H locations. The first one is Partner Services. So if you log into the D&H website, on the right side, there's a tab there that says Develop Your Business. You'll find a ton of great D&H resources there, including this webinar will be listed under the DHTV tab. But if you click on Partner Services, you'll find a bunch of these white label templates as well as some vendor templates that allow you to put your logo and information on there and send those out to your partners. The other place we'll make this available is Market Shift. So you can go to techdrivestudios.com. This is a service that is provided by D&H, and I'll explain TechDrive in a second because it gets a little confusing. But TechDrive Studios is the marketing team at D&H. We gave ourselves the name TechDrive Creative Studios. We do make all of our marketing expertise available to you, whether it's the tools that we're offering or whether it is customized support, which I'll talk about in just a second. So I'm going to show one quick slide here about TechDrive Creative Studios. So we oversee 3 parts of the operations at D&H. We do partner services, which I just discussed. So you'll be able to find customizable digital marketing and sales assets, campaign toolkits, and we're also going to be updating it shortly to talk about how you can make sure you're recognizing all of your MDF opportunities where you qualify with vendors. Market Shift. So this is very cool. We just launched this recently, and it is an automated platform. And one of the points that Brandi made earlier was that having like the right CRM is really valuable. And we know that some businesses don't always have the resources to get one of those. Well, what this does is it allows you to log in. You can enter all of your company information. You can give us your colors, your logos, your contacts, your sales contacts. And we have a library of content available, including emails, social media posts, PDFs, and PowerPoints, as well as very directed campaigns that kind of step you through this whole idea of engaging all levels of the funnel, and those are one-click created. So you show up, you click, give me the PowerPoint, and now you've got a PowerPoint that's got your logo and contact information that you can take directly into a sales call. You can launch emails from the portal, and it does give you the ability to track how those are going on. So Market Shift is currently invite only. If you go to that techdrivestudios.com and fill out the form and click more information about Market Shift, that will get you on the list to be invited to use the portal. We're currently onboarding partners about once or twice a month, but please make sure that if you're interested in that, you go there. And then custom services. So everything that we talked about today, we can assist with. We've helped partners brand and launch products. We've helped them make videos. We've made websites. All of that content, if you need a consult or you actually want us to do the work, I encourage you to reach out. TechDrive Creative Studios. We are D&H, so this isn't like D&H is outsourcing. I'm a D&H team member, so we would love to help you guys out and have conversations about how we can help your marketing team and how we can increase your sales cycle. I do have a slide. I'm only going to leave it up here for a second. These are kind of the disciplines that we can help you and your team out with if you're interested. And to end today, we have a couple of poll questions just so we can help sort anybody out who might need some assistance. The first question would be, would you like to learn more about D&H and TechDrive? And so I'll leave that up for a second so you have a chance to answer that. And our next question is, are you interested in learning more about CharTec's MSP training programs and events? Great way to learn more about CharTec. We partner with them for a lot of things. And so very valuable resource, especially for our MSP partners. Excellent resource. And the last question is, on behalf of our sponsors, are there any of these modern solutions that you're interested in learning more about? So if there are partners that you don't recognize up there that you want to know more about how you can work them into your sales process and what resources are available, please select all the ones you'd like to know. Or if there's ones that you're already using and you'd like more information to help you market and make those connections and convert those leads, please let us know on this poll question. That is the end of the presentation. We will take a couple of minutes here to hang out. If you have any questions about what you saw today, you can put them into the inbox on the right, or the question and answer form on there, and we'll take a second to see if anybody has any questions about anything that was presented today. And otherwise, that is the end of the presentation. So once again, thank you, Brandi, for joining us. And we'll hang out here for a few minutes just to see if anybody has any questions.
Thank you. This was fun. I really like this. Thank you for having me, Bill. I appreciate it.
Yes, always great to hear about some of these new great ideas. All right.
There's some great tools that you offer as well. Just taking a look.
You can only select one modern solution. If you have other questions, you can. We're going to send out a follow-up email, and you can reply back to that with if you need more of them. I apologize. That question only allowed for one response. All right. Well, it looks like all the questions are just everybody telling Brandi what a great job she did, which I agree with entirely. So thank you very much for the great feedback. And we will send out a follow-up email with links to these resources, as well as all the content we can provide for you from today. Thanks for visiting, everybody.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everyone.